let's bring in Gareth Soloway, our latest edition of Guest Trader of the Day. Great to have you on, Gareth. It's been an exciting day so far. How have things been on your end? A busy day so far?
Yeah, kind of in the middle range for me, and thanks for having me. It's very cool. I love watching you guys. The excitement just gets me pumped up every day. So that's it's a great addition just to get me up in the morning here on the Pacific Coast, as it's freaking early. But yeah, so it's been kind of one of those days where there's been a few trades out there that I've taken. I'm not a hugely, fly by the seat of my pants type of trader, in that I'm not jumping in and out of every trade. That was my early years in trading. I've been doing it for over 20 years. So I kind of select my battles very carefully, meaning that when I'm looking into a trade, I analyze risk reward. I obviously look at the charts to see what's a good trade setup. And it's got to be the best for me to take it. And if it is, then I'll take it with our traders, and we'll honestly, we make money most of the time. We had 2 trades today on Zoom, both successful, both over $2 gains. I used a measured move technique to analyze a specific level, and also noticing that the after hours low right around that 220 level was, or I should say the after hours high was around 220. That also gave me that signal. So 2 trades in the books today, over $4 in net gain per share, and I'm sitting pretty. I'm happy. But you guys, I see you guys are rocking it there as well, and it's fantastic to see, man. I love this station.
Yeah, I love that. I love that look on Zoom today. Obviously, a stock that's been just insane over the past even 3, 4, 5 sessions in a row to the upside, up more than 50%. All kinds of opportunities today. Was a little bit tricky, I have to say, off of the open. I mean, it did, open up to have quite the spread and was thinly traded. But let's bring in Neil here, and we'll get back into the markets.
All right.
How's it going, Gareth? First of all, thank you for coming on here. We love to have guest traders. We love to have people participate in the community. It's just a different perspective. We're very, very active. I've said a couple of times today, I made a few more trades than I would have liked today, and a few too many symbols. I think I knew that when I sat down. I had so many setups that I did like. I want to jump in here. You said you only had a couple of trades, and one of them is Zoom. So I'm going to give you one of my trades here on Boeing. I was looking at a 159 break. That was basically the only thing I had in terms of significance. I didn't see anything until about 164 for resistance. I still get tricked out of it for only a $2 gain here. And I know one of the first things I'm going to do when we're done the show, or maybe on the way home, I'll be thinking about this one. How do you sometimes hang on for a bigger win when you do get a bit of a sell indication? It rolled over, and I literally said to myself, if I was flat, I'd actually be considering this one as a retracement short setup. When that happens to you, do you have any particular, of course you have a lot of experience, do you have any particular things that you do to get you to hold on to that trade right through to that target?
Yeah, so a couple things. Number one is you have to always weigh the risk and reward, right? So let's say you're up on a trade $5, right? And you get to a point where it's coming into big resistance. If it breaks it, maybe you get another $1 out of it. But if it fails, you could end up giving back $1, $2, $3. You have to look at that risk reward. And I think that's the essence of being a trader that's going to generally make the right decision. But let's be honest. I mean, God knows the amount of stocks I've sold that I should have held on to are countless in my trading career. All we can do is do the best we can, and we use the tools that we have at our disposal. And that's really what you have to do. So I would say don't beat yourself up. I mean, I've seen so many people that they look back on a past trade and they're like, oh, if I only did this, but it's Monday morning quarterbacking. You have to be always focusing forward. The best traders are always looking to the next trade, always getting pumped for the next one. And again, I think that's what you have to do. And now if it's a minor resistance, and this is getting into a little bit more complex analysis where you get into major and minor levels, but minor levels, you might give a little space, or you might put in a trailing stop. Those are also ways to maneuver where you can kind of catch a little bit more on the movement of that stock.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And it's one of those things where the first thing that happened when I got out of Boeing was like, oh crap, maybe I should have hung on to that one. But there were a few other trades to get in there, and you didn't want to miss out on them. One of them, and I'm going to give you an example here of Cassava Science. It's a small cap, but my initial breakout long, I didn't give enough room. I thought I was angry at myself for getting out, not giving it a little more room to the long side. Missed the initial breakout, which gives you this $1 move. But hey, guess what? There was another setup break, which is exactly the same one, just $1 higher. And you take that trade. Now, if you're sitting there, and I know some traders had this happen to them, they're sort of, licking their wounds, and they're saying, why did I miss this trade? Why didn't I do that better? You're going to miss a secondary break. And one thing I know I mentioned I hope I say it enough on the show is, if you have a strategy and you have a setup that's a positive expectancy for you in your trading, you've got to put it on when it's there. And it doesn't mean it doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes after you made a mistake or you don't really, you're unhappy with yourself. You got to kind of get back on that horse, or at least find a way to do that. And one of the best things I find is literally just have all your levels set there, put some stop orders in if you have to trigger yourself into trades. Which does lead me to a question for you here. Because you do a select few trades, do you mainly have automatic entries, Gareth, or do you do anything manually? Is everything sort of automatic stop entry, stop exits to stay disciplined, or do you mix it up a little bit?
Great question. So just going back to what you were saying just a minute ago about, that regret, that feeling of regret, every trader has to understand that the biggest kind of detriment to their trading career is emotion, right? If you can be emotionless when it comes to trading, you will make more money than ever. And the reason that is just like in the situation you were just talking about, is that when you get out of a trade and you see it continuing to go, a lot of investors or traders will say, well, oh man, I missed it. I shouldn't have gotten out. Darn. All right, now I'm going to get back in. And they pay up for that at a worse entry. And the algos, they all know this. I mean, this is the biggest thing, right? When you're in a trading situation, there's $1 billion computer programs that are trading against you. And they are hoping you make an emotional decision so they can slap you around and just take your money from you. So be emotionless. Stocks are made there to be vehicles for people to profit. I can't tell you how many times, and sorry to get off topic from your last question, but people get into these modes of loving a stock, falling in love with Tesla, falling in love with something else. And they just are like, oh, I believe in it, so I'm going to hold it forever. And they get emotionally attached. And I always say to our traders is that that company is not saying, oh, Gareth Soloway, he's so emotionally attached to us. We won't do anything that's, we won't do a secondary to dilute him. We won't pay, our executives $100 million. They're not thinking about you. So you need to do the same. Be emotionless, be heartless, go into trades, get out of trades, make money consistently. That's what you got to do. I mean, that's the essence of it. I don't know if you want to respond to anything like that, but.
All right, guys, here we go. Sava to the upside right now. Yeah, thanks for that explanation. We are out right here, $3.74. We're hold on to the last third. I think emotions are pretty important, but you don't need to get carried away with your emotions. I think that's the important thing. You got to get excited a little bit for your wins. And yeah, you don't want to get too attached, I think, to your losers. So I think that's also a very good point there. And like you said, a lot of these companies don't really care that you as an individual are long. And I think that's a very good point. Just because we love Tesla or whatever, we love the cars, doesn't mean...
And don't get me wrong, you totally, when you have a win, jump up and down. I love it. I mean, the energy is infectious. So that's all it's about. I'm just saying that when you get that regret feeling, don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, like I was doing here on NIO today, and we got, this was wow, look at that. That's a perfect trade right there, guys. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough shares, but this is what we're talking about. I was a little disappointed when we had, when we had missed that 521 there. But look at this, where we got out here. You stick to your plan, you get out ahead of that 550, and you don't have to worry about it dropping all the way back down. Good reload spot back down there on NIO. Look at the size coming through. And guys, just an update here. Look at this Roku trade, $2.50 winner. So alley-oop to the market, not. The market is going upside here. The market's at days high here. And look at Roku, guys. We identified this early as a weak stock. It came off on the open here and then just tanked down to this level again. 106 made its way back up. We said nepa, and it comes all the way back downside. So big time trade. And just giving you guys an update, we'll get out of half of what we have left if it breaks back above this little consolidation point here. 106.70, and there goes Sava again, 361. So our best out there again. Almost once again, guys, another perfect here on Sava. Catch it at 330, get some out ahead of 50. That's what we do every time. And then some out again right at 75 as I sit back down and enjoy this fresh coffee and more winners. So the only positions we have on right now is that Roku and Sava, guys.
Yeah, what I love about that Sava, one thing you mentioned, Gareth, is put yourself in the mind of who you're trading against. One of the reasons on Sava, when it caught that breakout, and I was looking to take some shares out of 350, I said to myself, a lot of people are looking to take shares out of 50. And if that pressure gets relieved at an even level, that second break could be as good, if not better, than the 330 break, which turned out to be true. So I'm going to add to the position there when it breaks there, as some people have taken it out, and it relieves that pressure of sellers, day trading sellers, to the next level, which ended up being 390. So it's double the size of the move. at some point, I sort of jump back into, I don't know how much you follow the show, I jump into that mode of wanting to be a short seller on some of these stocks. And I find one of the things you've got to do is separate your trading strategies as best you can. Sometimes they'll conflict on the same stock. If you're very, very active and you don't want one bias to bleed into the other, I find it's easy to have a level head and always ask yourself, if I was flat and I was looking at this, what would I be doing here? I know that's one thing I try to do. I want to get back to you in a second, but I think Brendan has something for us.
Yeah, just wanted to update, guys. I have one eye on Warner Music. Still no trades yet, but we'll let you know as soon as that starts to trade. This WISA, W-I-S-A, little wireless audio electronics company. We were talking about it in the pre-market a little bit. Give you a great opportunity on the second push up to 380 there, but just wanted to mention this $3 level in the pre-market was resistance. There is a little bit of a bid, it looks like, underneath 3, trying to protect that $3 level on this WISA. We don't have locates, sadly, but have a look at WISA still, guys.
I knew there was a reason I hadn't traded that stock. It's because we don't have any locates. We do have this NIO trade. I said I would buy a pullback here. I did miss the initial one, of course, when it pulled back to 530. I did get this dip buy on the way down instead of the way up, but it worked out. I think a lot of times allow it to travel into your support and then kind of buy it on the way up just to make sure you're catching a falling source. Sometimes because NIO has such good liquidity, you get trapped into saying it's easy to get in and out of this one, so you get into the trade a bit early. But either way, I'm giving this one past this little VWAP area. 525 will be the out. I like a shot for it to get back to the 550 range, continue the trend. If it holds it all afternoon long, it's a kind of trade sometimes you have to expand your range. If you're usually holding for 20, 30 minutes as a day trader, maybe this is one, if it continues banging around here at VWAP, it could happen for the next hour or two during lunchtime. So I'm kind of prepared for that mentally. If it does, I'm still looking at 565 as an ultimate target here. Quick question, Gareth. You mentioned you were one and done with some great trades in Zoom. Is there anything you're looking at in the afternoon, maybe, or plays for even right now at lunchtime? Do you just generally back off and not trade lunch or the afternoons?
Good question. So over lunchtime, I'm much more careful. And the reason I'm much more careful is because the volume lightens up quite a bit on a lot of these names. I'm watching Lulu just pierced 320. That's a key level right there. It did already pull back. I didn't jump on it, but that was a little bit of a level. But the key is, one thing to remember for those traders out there that are watching is that volume at lunchtime gets lighter. And when the lighter the volume, the more likely you get a float up in a stock. So if you're looking to short, for instance, on some of these extended names, you have to be aware of that. So I'm much more likely to go long over lunch, find a setup where you have a bull flag with a time count, some sort of cycle activity going on with moving average support, and just let kind of the gentle float take care of my profits in that respect. So occasionally I do trades over lunch. In general, it's going to be on the long side.
Okay, yeah, just sort of changing your risk structure, I think, is a plan, right?
Yes, exactly. You got to always be aware of that risk. That's the risk. And that's going back to kind of what I'm saying in terms of, I trade, but I make sure those opportunities are exemplary, because I don't want to stress, like there's too many. I did, when I was a young trader, man, I would trade like 40 times a day and be in and out. And I'd look at my P&L at the end of the day and I'd be down. And, it's mostly that I wasn't down on the trades. It might be commissions, which luckily you don't really have that anymore. But it was just churning my account and getting into opportunities that weren't great. And it's gotten to the point where that was too much stress over the course of so many years. And so I like cherry picking the best of the best. And it's great. I get in, I get out. Low risk, high reward. And if the trade sets up nice, I'm in. Just on Lulu, I'm looking at Lulu, possible topping tail on the intraday 10-minute chart here. Again, time of day is not ideal, but if it puts in a little topping tail here, reversing, you might have something there.
All right, Lulu there, good name here. And Jarhead, guess what? Your boys are back in CCL. So we get long here, 1751. We take some out here, 1754. Let's just wait to see what happens, man. A decent amount of shares here. But like you were talking about there, Gareth, time of day, not great right now to take some of these trades, huge position. So we take it, and right now we'll take 3 cents. We're going to wait for the top side here, 1760 or more coming hopefully on Carnival. But that's the position we have. Oh, yeah, and we took a nice little $2 winner here. This is what you call discipline, guys. So we'll do a dancing gorilla for you. Haven't done that in a while. 106.80 out there, and now we have very, very small shares left, and we let Roku just continue to cash in for us. Nice little trade here on Roku, and then CCL. We get some out at 54. Now let's see where this ride wants to take us. Hopefully upside. I don't really. Maybe we can drop down a few more minutes here. Let's go to like a 10-minute chart. Let's see what we're talking about with CCL here as I look at other charting platforms as well, or not platforms, different chart time frames over here. Yeah, we're already really high up here. CCL hasn't been back here in a while. We're going to have to wait for this to load. But 1760, I will give it to about 1740. I'm not going to give this trade a big amount of room here. So we'll give this one about to 1740. We'll average in if it does come down a bit, guys. But I do like this name, Carnival. Let's see if it keeps going out a little bit at 54 there. Those of you guys wondering about Sava, yeah, your boy still has that one as well. We'll wait for that one. Look at this, long here, 333, out and then out again. We still have a third. That's pretty typical of what we'll do. So Roku, Sava, and CCL right now for the wins, guys. Let's see how far CCL can go.
Yeah, one thing we try to do here is keep you guys abreast with what's going on with our position board. So I'm just going to throw up so you guys can see what I still have on. We're down to 4 positions. It was quite the active morning here. I still have the Neo Real that we just took. 33 is an average price here on the long side. Of course, the first trade was great. This will be a secondary push here off of VWAP. Sava, I still have 355 long. Of course, we re-entered that trade a second time on that break. And SECO, it has given me no reason to get out of this last little bit here. We're short here just under $4. It's back down to 350. It hasn't broken that bottom yet. I'd love to see it do it. It might not happen until later on in the day. And lastly, remember, Tiffany, I'm still taking these shorts on these pops and then heavily getting up. But one thing we're going to have to do here is, look, I can't ignore the fact that I'm seeing Iceberg buying. And again, it's a thinly traded stock that's done 3.7 million shares, but there is some buying stepping in. Remember, this is not the first time that there has been question about this deal falling apart. The last time it did fall for a couple of days, but there was some buy action in there. Today, holding up a little better than I anticipated. So instead of getting the massive $2 win that I expected, I am taking off wins of about $1 or so, sometimes 50 or 80 cents on this position. I'm probably done shorting the pops, given how much strength it's shown. I will not be taking a breakout trade at 117.50. You probably won't see me short this name until, if it breaks that price, until about $1.20. And if it gets to 120, I really like that short there. We'll be all over that. 114.50 break. The next level should be about 109 for me on Tiffany. So I'm just sort of cycling in and out of shares here, taking advantage of the volume.
Oh, guys, right here at Carnival, we just take some out 55s. Here comes 56, and bang, there it is again. Air horn, that one, guys. Jarhead, what up, my friend? We take that one to the bank again. CCL, big win. That's one thing we're talking about here with our guest of the day. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you typically find that you go back to the well over and over again? Like CCL has just been a monster stock, and now it just rips up here for the day as we catapult ourselves through the roof here. 17.51. We get very, very patient. Let me put this back down to a 1-minute chart for you guys so you can see exactly. This was, and we went long, and then we hit out, and we got wicked out on this wick down here. So we go long again. That's why you see some red here. But 17.59 now to the upside as we keep on going here. Is that something, if you find out that you'll make some money on Lulu today, would you go back to that tomorrow? Or is that something where you just wait for setups and you don't really care about the name?
Yeah, so that's a key question, and I think the essence of it is you have to ask yourself: is there action, right? So if XYZ is trading today and it's whipping wildly and it's a great trading vehicle, it's great for today. Tomorrow it may be the same, in which case it's very tradable, but you just have to make that decision at that point. Far too many people out there I see they're like, oh, well, I always trade, this stock, so I'm going to go back every single day. Look at the action in it. A lot of times people will bring up to me stocks and I look at them and it's up or down 1% on the day. And I say, well, what am I supposed to do with that? There's no volatility. Volatility is a trader's friend, right? We all can agree with that. And that is what's required for you to go back to the well. So the essence of the question is, yes, you go back to the well if it allows for it, if the volatility is there.
Perfect.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to give you an example here. We have a trading floor behind us, and Day Trade the World here has hundreds of floors worldwide. All the floors I've been on, one of the worst stocks I think back in the day, and this is going back a few years, was BAC, and it used to be like 10 years ago, so the volume was always so good on it. So day traders are like, but there's always volume. I'm going to trade every single day. And that alone was the reason why every floor was negative on it that I was on. And it wasn't that there weren't opportunities, it's just that they were like, okay, well, it's good one day and then it's not good for another week or so, but we're trading it every single day. And I think if we can echo that point, that's why every day, come in, you know what you're looking for if you have some strategies that work for you, right? So just identify what fits your pattern. You know, don't trade something because someone else is necessarily. Trade it because it fits what you're trying to do, and then sort of go over that every single day. And it might turn out, like Sean and I have mentioned on the show for a while, like Carnival Cruise Lines, this is literally the first day I think I haven't traded it in a while, just because it's been so good. It's had good setups. Today I didn't really find anything, as I'm actually now going to finally be getting out of NEO. I don't know why my stop didn't trigger yet, but let's cover that one right here. I wanted to let it break VWAP by a couple of cents
all the way
here.
back down?
Reload back into NEO, and look, we'll see what happens with this name. Ultimately, I think the next stop, we talked about 5 even. I'm going to patiently wait on this one for another big move to happen, but I let it try to make a move all the way to 565. My last out was in front of 50s, unfortunately. It is what it is. Quick scalp reversal there, just to make a bit of a spread on that little short trade. But either way, I'm done with NEO until we get a test of 5 even, maybe some consolidation at that price. Otherwise, I think we had a great morning on it, and there's no need to throw it away during lunchtime when you already had a good profitable day. Just forcing trades is the wrong way to go here at lunch. I just have 3 things on. Sava's still long the last quarter, 355. Still have SECO, no reason to get out. And I have a little bit of Tiffany left. I am taking that in and out over and over again. Speaking of Carnival Cruise here, Sean, I know you were trying to hunt back into this one at some point.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those where this is the first day I haven't traded, and the trend is, again, still fantastic. It's giving that same setup off the morning with the break. It's pulling right back in, shaking traders out of that first long, and then that dip buy is just fantastic, and it's that same pattern. You get the FOMO traders coming in that take the breakout long. They're really excited about it. They're hoping for a massive move, and then they sell it off, coming right back in, and then it's an even better move after it makes a secondary play. You know, it's one of those things, Gareth, you've been trading a while. I don't remember seeing those types of patterns work so often. It's like people would pick up on it after a while here, and some of them are continuing. So you want to make sure, as much as you don't jump in every day to the same thing, if the setup is there, you've got to have it. Is there anything that you have in your checklist in the morning? I asked this to a lot of our guests. Is there anything in your checklist in the morning, in your routine, that's like, if I don't do this, then it's like, I don't even want to be making trades today. It's just that, it's that one thing I have to do before I put any trades on, before I sit down, before I put any orders out. What is that for you?
The biggest things are, I always do a first scan of the market. You know, you got to kind of orientate yourself to where things are going in the market. So first thing is, I wake up, I flip on the TV, I get kind of focused on what the overall market is doing, and then right away I start delving into what's the biggest movers of the day. So a lot of people ask me, like, what crazy scanners do you use to find your setups? And for the most part, I use the biggest gainers and the biggest losers, because that's what's in action. And then as I'm scanning through, I'm going to be looking for, you know, what has enough volume, first of all, because, you know, if I'm going to buy 10,000 shares or short 10,000 shares, I got to be sure that I can get in and out easily without screwing myself. And so I quickly X out X, and I'll come to the end of that with a list of trades that I'm going to watch. Now, it doesn't mean new things throughout the day won't start to get into levels. You'll always be scanning. But for the most part, you want to have that firm foundation, your routine every morning. I always get my morning coffee, my morning drink, get that going. It's actually pre-workout. I kind of like the edge of the pre-workout instead of coffee in the morning. But you always want to come in with a clean slate, a clear mind. You don't want things from yesterday that were bugging you to carry over. That's one surefire way to screw up your day. So again, that's, I think, the way that I handle it. But lots of different ways, and some people like to throw a little spice in there differently.
Yeah, exactly. And here we go. I like the one in and then multiple out. So on CCL, we waited all day for this one. And here's my Twitter, guys. Make sure you follow me here, because we're on a boat right now. So here we go. Nice little Adam Sandberg here. Great song. He's on a boat. So are we. CCL, we're paying for it. It's free now. Shout out to Bear Bull Traders, Carlos as well, and Aziz from there. We're just killing it now on all of this, guys. Follow me on Twitter. Look look at CCL or on Twitter, but this is Carnival. Long here at 1751, and then bang, 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 bang. All outs here, 1764, 1765. Big time wins on that one. $1.10 still in the money on Roku. Gonna give this one to VWAP. If it breaks 108, we'll get out of that one. And then Sava, yeah, I know Neil went long again, and I think it can still go up, guys. It can still break $4. I'm gonna get out of this one if we do come back to flat. So if we come back to 330 here, I'll just put in my pocket this 15 cents, and then that almost basically perfect out up here at 375. So we're gonna give this one back to 333, which is where we're in at. Let's call it 330, and then may come sooner rather than later. I don't want to take this profit. Let's see if we can't go high side on this name. But what's up, B. Wendon?
Just found this Abbott Labs, guys. ABT came down to 91 a few times here and is holding. So there is a bid, it looks like, down at 91 to the downside, 1.5% already today. Market continues this slow grind to the upside, but a little bit of support finally, possibly, for ABT, guys.
Really?
Yeah, good looking Abbott. Haven't traded that one in a while. One name that we've been in basically all morning, and I think this speaks to a point that we were making about, sticking to your plan, making sure you have a level head, knowing what your setup's going to be. And one thing I've observed, at least in my trading, is when I'm hunting some of these pullbacks on these smaller cap names, the pre-market trade sometimes is good. However, when I get stopped out of a pre-market short trade, if it fails to take out the next level, those are easily the best trades of the day for me. So every time I get into one of them, the first thing I thought about when I got back into SECO after losing off the open here was, when the first level went to break, I was thinking about taking a scalp off for about 15 cents. And I said to myself, no, I know these ones are better. Let's dig into this one, add to the position when 4 even breaks. This is when the floodgates can open up, and that's exactly what's happened here. We talked about 350. That actually just broke. It's now down at 338, so we started this one shorting at 418. We added at 4 even, a 398 to give an average price of 410 or so, and now that one is down at 338. There really isn't any bottom in sight, so you can think about trailing this one, maybe back to an even level, maybe giving it back to one of these key sort of pullbacks. For me, I'm just going to sit here manually looking for a 3 even bottom on this one. And if we have to hang on to it all afternoon, why not? SECO has been one of my best stocks on the day, but partly because after losing, the first thing I thought about was, okay, what usually happens after this? What part of my plan do I need to execute better? I've gone over that every time it's happened to me in the afternoon and came prepared to jump back into this trade and get a little bit more aggressive on that little pullback. Gareth, it's been a lot of fun already so far with you. Just a quick question for you here. We already just talked about your preparation. When it comes to mentality after a loss, I've heard traders talk about anything from, if I take 3 hits in a row, I'm going to go up and get a coffee. I ignore the fact that I have 3 hits in a row. I'm just like a robot. Everybody has a different way about them. Is there anything in particular that you might do after successive big hits if they happen to happen to you? I know for some traders that can be a bit of a problem for them. If you're trading long enough, you have to have gotten past that at some point for most of us. So is there anything you've done in particular when you have 2 or 3 losses, maybe just in succession?
Yeah, very rare these days, considering I'm so selective on my trades, but occasionally I'll have 2 in a row. And I think even when you have 1 in a row, if it's unusual for that to happen, you need to kind of reset your brain. And what I do for me, and this is different for everyone, but for me, I'm very logical. I remind myself that, yes, I might have taken a $1,000 or $2,000 loss on a trade, occasionally more even, but I say to myself, okay, well, I have a ratio for the past 10 years of 90% success rate on trades. So that means every 10 trades I'm winning 9 times, I'm losing 1. As long as I rationalize it, I'm able to put it behind me. And I say, okay, that was my 1 loser. The stock god is going to get me. There's no way you're going to ever have a trader that doesn't lose. So if that's your one, and this is me rationalizing again, so you have to figure out how to put it in perspective. What you don't want to let happen is it wipe out the other 9 winners. That's where you get into a lot of trouble. But if you can keep it to just negating 1 or 2 trades on the good side, then you're golden. Just remind yourself of that. Remind yourself that you have an average, just like a baseball player. You're going to bat 300 or 500, or in this case, as a trader, you want to bet obviously much higher than that, and that your average will stick over the long term. And that's why you don't want to get so hung up on 1 loser or 2 losers. Maybe those were the 2 losers and the next 50 trades are going to be winners. Remind yourself of your average. And you should, every newer trader for the first few years should have a trade journal. They should always be writing down the wins, the losses, why the win was the win, why the loss was the loss. Make sure you remind yourself, because learning is everything, right? You guys are talking about some things that, and I'm just like, that's like, you were talking about pre-market, how you said, I know this runs more. That's experience. That comes from having that experience, and that comes from learning. And if traders don't learn from their mistakes or their wins, you always learn more from your mistakes, then you're never going to progress. So I would definitely say, focus in, keep it logical, and do your best.
Thanks, sir, Gareth. I got to get to Brennan here. He's got a little something for us.
Constellium, guys, CSTM just popping up here, up 9.5% on the day. Huge volume spike just came in. 970 got rejected for probably the fourth or fifth time here. CSTM, they signed a deal with Airbus, apparently, to supply them with some air-related products, I guess, in construction terms. Gareth, not sure how much you pay attention to volume increases, or, this time of day we get to a point where we kind of like to look at anything that is kind of jumping up, doing more volume than it normally does, especially at this time of day. So CSTM, 9.5% on the day, guys, on a volume spike.
Yeah, good look there. Just before we go there, Sean, just want to note that we're still waiting on Warner here. It's no signs of opening. We'd love to be trading this one at 12 o'clock or before 12 o'clock, but we can't control when these IPOs open up. I think it should be a good one when it does. Sean, what do you got, bud?
No, I'm just getting out of CCL here at 47.48 as it does break back down below 50. And part of my rules there, and Gareth has done a great job talking about it and not like worrying about your losers or anything. So CCL breaks down below 50. That's kind of my cut point there. We've just our best out 64, 65s. So to take a 3-penny loser now when the trade breaks down, or not even, I guess 48. Yeah, I guess that's 3-penny loser there. When the trade breaks down, that's fine, because these are 3-penny winners. So we basically put all of this in our pocket. And again, guys, Neil and I trade differently, right? We all trade different amounts of shares. So you got to understand your stops, what your tolerance is. And you brought that up good there, Gareth, as well. When you talked about, sure, you've taken $2,000 hits, you've taken $2,000 wins, right? So you sort of got to go back and forth. And the worst point is when we sort of first started the show, I used to kind of hold on to my losers a little bit longer than I should have before cutting them. What I've learned here is when you up your share size, you can't just hold on to something for dear life, because if it doesn't go for you, then the next thing you know is you're cut and you're snapped and your neck is finished for the day. So we want to be able to stay around, because here goes Carnival. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. And I'm going to give myself a perfect out here. Look, you get out when the trade breaks down. So now I'm not in this 6 or 7 penny loser. I'm sure, Gareth, you cut some of your losers as well.
Absolutely. You have to. I mean, that's the only way a trader will not lose all their money, because the market is a shark-infested water environment. Right. And they're out there, and you have to be disciplined. Discipline is the only way you're ever going to make it in this game. So I 100% agree with you on that. I'm actually watching Boeing big surge up here. I'm looking at above 170 as a potential shorting opportunity. So just a heads up there. It's not there yet, but heads up.
Wow, yeah, I've been sort of hunting for this one, and the first thing that we talked about when it did make that break was looking at the daily chart was going to tell you there just wasn't a heck of a lot of sort of natural, obvious resistance on a first look. One of the things that'll happen is that if you have a level like that, you're expecting resistance, it falls shy of it. And then you get into that FOMO. It's like, oh no, it's turned here. It's like, well, you wanted it to test 170, not 169, 49 or whatever happened, which is the actual high right now. Yeah. So for me, I'm going to stay away from it, because I got burned yesterday by just getting a little bit too early on one of these short plays. When a move happens at 10% upside and you're trying a retracement, believe me, the win's going to be there at some point. You just got to wait for it. But Brennan, what do you got for us, buddy?
Guys, there was actually, we mentioned it earlier on, there was actually multiple IPOs today. This is one of them, PLRX on the NASDAQ. So they managed to get this one going, but still no Warner Music for us yet. Opened at 25. The reason we look at the bigger ones is because, as you can see, not a lot of volume here. $97 million on the IPO for this one. That Warner Music, $2+ billion. So we're hoping to bring that to you when it does IPO. Gareth, do you look at IPOs? Do you trade them much?
Yeah, I do. I'm a technical trader, so in general, I like to have some data from history to base my trades off of. But I definitely will be eyeing them, especially if they get way too overhyped or in the opposite direction. So it's not a usual trade. I usually like to have like for instance, recently I traded. I did a swing trade short on DKNG just the other day, and that continues to fall. I did take my profits yesterday. Wish I held them though, but that's that was a recent IPO from months ago. That's the type of stuff I'll look at, because as a technical trader, your guidebook is the chart. And if you don't have a chart, it makes it a lot trickier. Doesn't mean it's untradeable, but it's a lot trickier.
I believe in that one for sure. I loved that DraftKings name, and we did talk about that. And I, like you, I was swing long 31, 32, out 42 or whatever that was the other day. So that was a good trade. I agree with you on that one. We are now short here on Boeing, so I'm still nervous about it breaking the top. I'm just going to be short here, waiting. I mean, Boeing's up 10%. Hello. We'll wait to see here on this one. So we're going to go short now. We are short actually. Now we're going to go short. We're short 167.90. You can see the little tick right here, guys. That's my short play. We're just going to give it up here. I mean, I can give this one. We're huge today. It's been a monster day, so I can give this one no problem. I guess 250 here. Well, we're short 168, so 150 to the upside. We're looking for it to come back into some of this consolidation range where we broke out. So we'll just wait to see. The future's kind of hovering around. I don't know, Brendan. Was there news? I looked and didn't see any news on Boeing. I mean, I guess it's a technical break. I mean, there was news this morning, but maybe recently from this 163 level at 11 o'clock, maybe something, but could just be a technical break. We do have Roku. That name's still short, guys. And again, I just like to be, I just hunt the best positions I can find here. And Roku right there, one in, no retracements, no nothing. Out here, bottom tick, great little trade there. We'll see if we can't come back downside 106.30. But those are the only positions I have on. Actually, we'll pull up the position board here. I do have Sava still on now as well. We've talked about that one. Sava, I see a lot of that, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for all those super chats. And I'm really glad that some of your best trades you've ever had were Sava. And I hope it was this 330 break. Same thing that we have. So we have 333 long here. We have 108.68. I mean, that one is a banger. We'll smile this one. See, here I am. Smile. Where's the smile coming up? There it is. Smile with the thumbs up there. Big win on that one. And Sava, we still have that long. So Boeing on the short, but that could get blown out. Oh, no. Now it's in the money nicely. So Boeing, no, it's still flat. 9 cents out right now. So we'll wait to see on Boeing, guys.
Yeah, I just want to jump in. There was a good question here in the chat. And one thing, Gareth, is we have all kinds of traders in our community. And Sanjeev can shout you out again. There's no such thing as a dumb question. You're asking, can we go short on IPOs? The answer is yes for us. We are able to pay for locates. That's pretty much always going to be the case when you're trading, at least in the first few sessions on an IPO. So WMG, when we're trading in Warner Music today, I have paid for those shares. I'll quickly just find, it was actually very, very cheap here. We only paid a penny per share to be able to get the locates on this, which is relatively cheap. Sometimes it's as high as 5 or 6 cents a share for us to be shorting an IPO. So the answer is, for a lot of people, a no. But we do have the ability to pay for those locates. They're not free for us to go short on the first day here in WMG. But Brennan has something. What do you got there, buddy?
Guys, Canadian Solar just popping up here. 5% huge volume spike, went from 1850 up to about 1940 in a straight line here. Looks like a contract announced for them in Maine. They're going to be doing some work down in Maine. So a multi-million-dollar contract for Canadian Solar. A little bit of a volume spike there, guys.
Yeah, definitely a good look there. I only have one position on, so I won't put the position board on, but I'm just going to show it to you here. That SECO, we're actually now finding a bit of a bottom here, and I think when you have something which is, it has strong news, it's definitely been positive. Of course, it is up that 57%, but at some point, you are thinking the move is going to slow down and halt. There is a nice little bottom forming at 335 to 340 right here, where I would consider at least thinking about a long if I was flat on the trade. So I'm going to go ahead and probably take this one off. If we can get a nice little, it's a 60-cent win on this last portion. Of course, we started it at 420. Started this at 418, and we did add on the way down here. So I feel okay taking out this bottom because I'd like to be flat. So that I know when there's a potential buying opportunity later on, I'm not sort of sitting there, yeah, but I'm holding for a monster win on the rest of this short. So I've gotten out of this trade. It's been my best one this morning, with the exception of Tiffany, which is a very, very different structured trade from anything that I will do for you guys in the show. But now I'm looking for a long opportunity, and SECO, I'm probably done with this short unless it makes a significant pop to the upside. So patiently looking to see a few conditions set up here. Either it needs to consolidate, make a nice strong bottom, failed break through the low of the day, snapping some people out, and then firing back up would be pretty good. Also seeing a break of about 370 to the upside maybe gets you to VWAP here. Gareth, just we've asked you a lot of questions, sort of going back and forth. We have Brendan obviously, who brings us a heck of a lot of news sources. And one thing I always say is, if I see a volume spike somewhere, or I'm in a stock and it's something out of nowhere pops in, I don't want to react without knowing what's happening. How important is it for you as a technical trader? How much does breaking news matter to you? How often do you actually trade breaking news, if at all? What's your relationship with things happening intraday?
So breaking news you definitely want to be aware of, but a lot of times I'll focus on the chart, and the chart will tell me where the proper level is anyway. So for instance, on Boeing, let's say news just broke as it's popping up, or this morning. That's great to know what had happened, but you want to focus on the technical level that's going to give you the trading opportunity. So you'll find that technical levels have a weird way of stopping a move up or a move down in their tracks and giving us a trading opportunity. So the news is the catalyst. Like, think about news as being the fuel, and the fuel ignites the stock. And then the question is, how much fuel was behind that? And the way you're going to know that is where is the resistance on a move up or a pullback support? So for instance, as we're coming down on a stock, let's just say it's collapsing back down on the back of news. What you do is you look for major support. And if you can find a brick wall, and I'm using a brick wall as an analogy here to show a huge major support area, if the stock has fallen enough, that brick wall that's many layers thick is going to be enough to halt that move down. Now, if it was 2 inches away from where the move started, obviously the gasoline in that tank is going to power right through it. But you get to points where the fuel starts to run out. And if you can pinpoint those key levels, you got to trade them. I mean, it's just, those are the most beautiful trades in the world.
All right. Yeah, good look there. And we love all of that talk. I mean, I love the technical breaks as well. And I sort of think that's what we had here on Roku, which is now $2 in the money. Facebook, we take a break here as well. Not a break. We waited for this long down here, protecting $229.50. So we take that long right now and bang that out. That's a nice little 30-cent winner. So we got that idea. We put this one in a pipe and smoke it to the upside here as we keep going. And Boeing right now, and yeah, we're waiting for this one. Didn't get to that 169.50. I'm still holding out for hope on this one. 166 target off of a 168 short. So we'll wait for that one. Facebook long, we just talked about that one. Our long is 229.60 right now. It's 229.90. That's a 30-cent winner. And Roku keeps on pushing. Push, Roku. Here we go. It's disco ball time. And wow, here goes Roku. Okay, Roku to the downside. Big win here, guys, on this one. $2.13 in the money. It's been obviously a big monster day, and it's about that time now, guys. So here we go. It's fruit salad time. Gareth, I don't know if you are a big fan of fruit salad or not, but here we go. Today's fruit salad looks like brought to you by Honeydew Melon. A lot of honeydew in there. I see you nodding there, my friend. What is your favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit, man. Watermelon, grapes, you name it. I grow them all in my garden, and August, September comes around, and I'm eating cantaloupes and honeydews and it all. So it is awesome stuff, and nothing like that's, believe it or not, just a side note here. Every trader needs a hobby that gets them away from the computer screen and has them relax. And mine is gardening. I love the garden. I love growing my own stuff, and great lead in with that fruit salad.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Whereabouts are you located to be growing all this stuff?
Portland, Oregon, actually.
Portland, Oregon. Wine country. I love the wine there.
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon, for sure. Some nice Pinot Noir from the Oregon region. Great little look there. Thanks for that. We just got out there. That's a 30-cent winner. So today it's been one of these days for yours truly, guys. Where's the money? We're trying to catch it. Wow, that's a nasty face. But there it is, guys. Big time trade. Look, if you want to be a guest on our show, very similar to Gareth, send us an email. Valeria will drop that link down, and we'll get involved with you, and you can come on our show. We're talking about having some female traders. Neil made some great points, guys. The success rate is huge on female traders as well. So guys, don't be afraid. Come through. It looks like the futures tried to make a move down there. So right now, the only thing I have on is this Roku short. That's $2 in the money. You guys know that. 108.68 in the money there. And now I'm thinking now about Pinot Noir. And then Boeing right here, short 167.90. Yeah, the kids are my hobby, guys. Follow me on Twitter. Went for a nice walk. I agree with you, Gareth. As soon as I got home, we head out to the Humber River by my my place and had a great little walk there, skipping rocks and looking for fish. What up, Brendan?
Reed, guys, just saw this one popping up as well. Huge volume spike coming up on REED. This is a little one in the food services space. So breakout here above day highs, 115, huge volume spike coming back in. Let's see what happens at 115 if we hold. Might get another move to the upside. 44% for this one, guys.
Yeah, I know. I see a couple people asking about Sava here. Of course, it was been a fantastic trade if you're looking for breakouts on the day. This is a significant pullback it's making here. Just sort of warning people, the last time it did retest on a pullback, this price range, it did bounce off of 3, but it kind of broke it before, it broke people out of that long at $3, wicked down a couple of pennies, and then went off there. So I think I'm not still long here, but I guess if you are still long, you are probably wanting to give it a little bit more room here instead of just having a tight stop out to an even dollar or to VWAP or that 3 even. Sometimes, and seems like it's one of those stocks, you do have to give it a couple of extra cents. The good news is liquidity is very good on Sava. It's on 44 million shares. You can see on level 2, it's not a big deal here, giving it a couple extra pennies here if you have to, just to make sure that you are right. And we talk about this a lot here, the difference between, Gareth, hard stops and area stops. And I know a lot of it has to do with your style of trade and the stock itself. Do you find that you use one or the other more often? Is it something you find you have to jump back and forth between saying it enters this price area, I make a decision, or it literally breaks this exact price to the penny and I'm in or out?
It depends on the trade. So for instance, with a topping tail or bottoming tail, you have a defined stop. If you're shorting a topping tail, for instance, any close on a 10-minute chart, which is the chart I use for day trading, any close above that topping tail, you would stop out immediately. It keeps the stop very, very tight, and basically any close above it negates the reason you took the trade. And I think that's the essence of it. It's as soon as something occurs that negates that reason, you have to admit defeat. And small battles can be lost. You want to win the war, and that's the essence. I think that's what you have to remember.
Yeah,
Art of war.
Yeah, you got to win the war. That's the thing. This is not like you make 1 or 2 trades in a day, but this is a long game. One thing that I talk to traders and I tell them about all the time is sometimes you really just have to take a step back and assess yourself over the course of weeks, months, quarters, and years, as opposed to days and trades. And sometimes there's a place for that, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times you have to have that overall higher time frame. I hate to say it, but with only 9 minutes to go here, I do feel like Warner Music is not going to open up here for us. I think it would be exciting. We think it's going to be a good one. The good news, however, is all 3 of us continue to trade throughout the afternoon. So we'll tweet it out when we're trading this name. But even better than that, at 1 o'clock today, we have another one of our education segments coming through. We're doing 4 separate topics at 1. So make sure you want to tune in for that as John hits the dancing. I don't know. That always kind of creeps me out there. But I don't hit it very often, except when I'm tricked into it, Rob, when they change my buttons on me. But it is what it is.
Yeah, there it is, guys. Boeing right here. We did go short 168. We're waiting for, I gave this call down here, 166 and change. If you want your 70 cents, take it now, because here comes Boeing straight back to the downside. So you're welcome for that one as well. So I called the last one nasty, but here comes another creepy one. There's a little wink for you. As we come to the downside, 167.32. Guess what? Your boy did it again. So there it is. So we go barbecuing, flipping it up. Gareth, what do you like to barbecue? Bye-bye, Boeing. So maybe if we're barbecuing steaks, we're now barbecuing ribeyes, T-bones. Let's keep coming down here, Gareth. As we come down to the bottom here, what do you like to barbecue, my friend?
Oh, I love a good barbecue chicken, a good fillet, good steak, man. It is great. And then you throw some good vegetables on there and get them grilled up. It is an amazing meal.
Grilled zucchini.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah, we're loving that one in my family. My kids, not so much.
You know what? Honestly, LaShawn, like my daughter's 3 and she loves zucchini. It's awesome. There goes WMG. We finally got the open on this one. Opening up.
I found the trick, by the way. You grow it in your garden, and your child will eat about 10 times more than they would eat if you put it on a plate inside. I mean, my little one, I pick a pea off the pea stalk, and she just demands it right away, over and over again. So that's the key.
I'm going to take a shot here. 27 even. There's a bit of a seller here, or a buyer, I should say, on this one. It opened up 27 even. I'm just going to go quick long in front of it. You get that FOMO. People have been waiting for this one. Maybe there's a scalp trade to be had. I'm not at the point where I would reverse to the short side trade just yet, but we'll take one shot here. I'm only risking about 30 cents on WMG, but I just saw that first little buyer at 27 even. If I can find them on the level 2 scrolling down for you, immediate size jump up. Sorry, you can't see it, but Sean, you saw it as well, right? So
yeah, I saw him. He's there. There's a big buyer there, so we go hella long right now. So let's see if we can't go to the upside and bang, there it is. Let's go, guys. Code word, crushing it. How about that? There's your code word today as we keep going upside here. Nice little in. Look at this, 27.28, out 50, 69.70. Let's go.
How
this is
possible
why
we got the exact same
IPOs,
price?
guys. It is falling money down. It is IPO crazy time. Roku in the money, $3. Boeing in the money, $1.50. WMG, bang it out, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, I actually somehow got exactly the same price, 27.28. We must have literally seen that guy at the exact same time and then jumped into it. I'm taking some profit off. I know the chart's going to look stupid because it's an IPO, but on the way up, sometimes even dollar levels, you have nothing to go by. You got to think like other traders in these situations. So for me, I'm going to have already 80% of it out on this long. It's in front of 27. You can take breakouts. If 28 breaks and I see a seller there, 100,000 shares, you can try a scalp long on a break of 28 as well. So we waited patiently for it and got the wins. There you go, Warner Music already.
There's the dance, guys. Yeah, here we go. Big time trade happening on Warner Music. It doesn't get any easier than that one, guys. We saw that bust out there. And Gareth, sorry to interrupt you, buddy, but when there's money to be made, this is what we do on the show. This is me, guys. Running in that money. We can now buy a few CDs. Do they still make CDs? Who knows? Oh, Boeing, guys, and bang on Boeing. Come on, Boeing, switch your charts. How can I hit the bangs if we don't? Oh, which level did I call? 166.50? Bang, here it comes again. If you don't like it, turn the channel. It just keeps on coming. It's Belly Dance Central right now. Roku as well. That's a $3 winner. We are just on fire here, guys. Welcome to the show. Wow, Warner Brothers, 28. Okay, you want to break? That's cool. We're hella long. Let's go.
28 has 160,000 seller on it. That's what I'm eyeballing. When I take these trades here, I'm out in front. I'm breaking out again. I don't like to hang on to it too long. There's so much liquidity to get back into the trade. You pay a couple of cents extra to be able to get it. We have paid for the ability to short. I know not everyone can. I'm not looking at any shorts at this trade yet, but we have the ability to do it. Wow, that just was a reload. Someone took out that entire level at 28 even. 150,000 shares, didn't pull. It printed and held. So a bit of an iceberg there at 28. Makes me like to break out just a little bit more if it happens. Otherwise, there's the break. Just got that quick little long trade and scalp out of it if we can and see how far this one can go. I don't want it to retrace too far. It's already come from 27. That's our big buyer initially. Remember that, guys.
Yeah, welcome to the jungle, guys. You talk about the sharks, but apparently there's only one big shark in this pond right here, Gareth. So we're just continue to crush everything right here. WMG, nice out. Look at this out, 28.15, guys. Some out. I was waiting up here at 20. Again, I can show you my 28.26 is one of my orders. I don't know why that went out at that price, but we'll get the rest out right now. What a monster win! Just starting the day off. So yeah, I'm not gonna do anything else. Let's just explode the money. What a little bit of action there to end the day. Valeria, I think you have your spots to clip right there, so mark that down. 11:50, you clip that, we'll throw that on social media. But Gareth, how are you enjoying yourself so far, buddy?
This is awesome, man. I mean, if I was tired before, I've got more energy than ever before now with you guys. I love it.
There we go.
Yeah, we absolutely love it here. And to be honest with you, like we talked about what people do as their sort of get away from trading. For me, I like to work out and be active. And certainly doing this sometimes is a bit of a workout. But I want to tell you before we get out of here, I love when these little shakeouts happen on these breakout trades. Everyone got shaken out on a 28 break. I'm buying more when they're getting out. I'm buying it in the 90s when it happens, so we're able to take some more shares out here in the 28-20 range. Again, I don't know how far it's going to go. I don't have a crystal ball, and we don't have any technical levels here, but it's a nice little scalp. You buy in that little dip, and then you catch some out there at 28-20, and then see how far it can go. This gives you some runway to be able to hold a trade when you're taking profit in and out. Therefore, you're playing with some house money and giving it probably back to 27.60 or so in the next level, 27 even. Gareth, it's been a lot of fun. I will say this, anybody that wants to be a guest trader, please let us know all about it. If you want to be on here, whatever your experience is, we don't care. It's a lot of fun to do, and we want you guys to have that experience and be part of that community with us on the show. But we got to get to Brendan and wrap this puppy up.
Yeah, man, so happy we got to show you guys Warner Music there opening just in the nick of time before we wrap things up. Gareth, let's have a look at what is coming up after market today and before the open tomorrow. As far as earnings reports go, we had a few big ones today. More to come, guys. We mentioned Cloudera this morning. They were buying that one, heading towards earnings after market today.
Not much else there. I don't mind Fossil there a little bit. Cloudera, CLDR, we'll be looking at that as well. Anything on that board there for you, Gareth? I don't know. These seem to be, Michaels maybe? That's a little retail name that's been battling around a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking Michaels might get some action. I think you want to focus on stocks that could be a negative or positive surprise to give us that volatility tomorrow. Absolutely. So Michaels, Cloudera, Fossil maybe. Those are the main ones.
Right, yeah, good. So we're on the same page with that. Here goes WMG, guys. We just take a little bit more. Actually, I did not. I canceled. We're going to wait for 28.40 here coming through. This is just $1 and change winner. Once again, guys, we've had this one. We've had multiple dollar winners today. What a big day. Thank you so much for everybody joining in on the show. I can't say it enough. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. You're hearing from Gareth. The energy is unreal. We've energized him. We've energized you guys as well. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you for everybody on the chat for your love today. It's been a fantastic day. We've hit so many winners. WMG, Roku, we still have on. You just saw me ring that register on Boeing. Facebook, man, CrowdStrike was just a monster off the open, so we hit that one going as well. But here we go, guys. $1.20 now in the money, as we didn't even take some out, WMG. I lied. I didn't even have an order out there, so let's take some out now and just continue this dollar
I
win.
did take some out there as we're going to wrap this one up, but it's all about that reload buy. Now looking at 29, there's just no reason to get out of this trade. Stick to us here and make sure you join on Twitter. We will tweet out some of these trades and continue to engage with you guys. And remember, at 1 o'clock, we are going to be jumping over to our educational video. That will be live on our Market Wisdom channel. Brendan, Sean, and I will be discussing 4 separate topics there. I believe we got to get to Valeria Haver to finish the show.
Hey Gareth, and shout out Trading Family. Thank you very much for joining us today and for all of your support. Guys, today we'll be recording our next educational video. We will cover 4 topics today. So save the link I'm sending out and join us at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. All the videos will be saved at our educational channel. Subscribe to Market Wisdom by TraderTV Live. And of course, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel and catch us live every day at 9 a.m. As usual, I'm saying what national day is today. So today is the National Chocolate Macaroon Day, guys.
Yes. That's all I got to say to that.
I'll say yes times 2, Gareth.
Oh, it looks good, man. I'm
Macaroons?
ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, I like dipping a little bit in coffee there. Maybe that's my Italian side. Shout out to all you Italians out there, been drinking coffee. Maybe you can tell since I've been 5 years older, so I made some nice espressos on tap for that. I know, Brendan, you're an espresso lover as well, my friend, and we'll be having some more of those. And we're back with you at 1 o'clock today. Thanks for that throw, Neil. Wow, look at WMG, guys. This is a one trade. I'm going to be putting this one on Twitter. You can guarantee that. Everything we put on there is just cash money. So get ready. 28.28. Look at this. We're still in this, guys. But just to let you know, we only have 20% of our position on. So we did capture a lot of this profit. Wasn't sure what it was going to do at 28. Now let's let this thing ride. Brendan, didn't I tell you this was going to be a monster opening here today for WMG? And that's exactly what it is. Again, never have enough shares when there's winners, but that's what we do here on the show. It's been a good one, guys. 12:01.
And let's wrap this puppy up here. I want to thank you once again, Gareth, of course, for being our guest trader of the day. And as always, we want everyone to be able to participate doing this. It doesn't matter what your experience level. So I'm going to go down the line. Valeria, thank you very much for doing a fantastic job. As always, give a little bit of a wave there. Sean, who will at some point get to that fruit salad. I'm sure it is absolutely full at this point. You know how it goes on a good day. And Brendan doing a great job, as always. Professional, keeping us in line with the news on every single level here, making sure that we are informed when we trade. And again, Gareth, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we will see you back at 1, but also tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.